An NBA insider believes that the New York Knicks will be targeting a center to add to the depth of the team during the trade deadline over anything else, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to waste no time jumping into the video today because Tim Bonetmps was recently talking about the New York Knicks and what they might be doing at the deadline, and basically here's what he had to say on that. I actually think the more likely path they'll take if they're going to add one piece is to get a big. The guy I would really be interested in for the Knicks is a guy in Washington, Daniel Gafford. You can pair him with Hartenstein. You can get back to 48 minutes of high-quality center play. They might look to add a perimeter guy, but they've got a lot of guys who could score. I think once they get the rotation sorted out, they've got DiVincenzo they can give the ball to. Josh Hart can do some stuff. OG could do some stuff. They want to give McBride a chance to play, but look, the Knicks, they've been methodically adding the rotation players. They got Josh Hart on the trade deadline. They got DiVincenzo in the summer. Thought that was a really good mid-level pickup for them. Now they go and get OG. Obviously, they'd love a star. Everyone's talked about it for a long time, but they can add another piece or two coming up to the deadline. They've done a really good job of just methodically deepening this roster and making themselves better. Going into this season, the Knicks had unarguably the best bench in the NBA. Starting out this season, when the Knicks season began, the bench was Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Obviously, with Mitch's injury, Hartenstein is now the Knicks starting center, and with the trade, Quickley's off, and DiVincenzo has replaced Quentin Grimes in the starting lineup. Josh Hart has been the one consistency off the bench for the Knicks. He's, for the most part, been playing the most bench minutes. But the Knicks do like having a strong bench. It's something that's been important to them for a while. They had a strong bench in the playoffs in 2023. Going into the season, as I said, they had the best bench in the league. And now their bench, it's not bad, but it's definitely taken a hit by losing Quickley and losing Hartenstein because they lost Mitch due to injury. So we're sort of in a situation now where the Knicks don't have a set backup big man. They've kind of used Precious a bit. They'll go to the Jericho Sims well once in a while. But I don't think either of them are doing exactly what Tibbs wants out of them. And if they were to get Daniel Gafford, they could move Hartenstein back to a position on the bench where even if he's playing more minutes than Hartenstein, he works with the bench unit more, something that he's seen a lot of success with. Given also as a starter, he's seen a ton of success too. So maybe they put Gafford on the bench. Regardless, they're looking at Daniel Gafford, or at least ESPN believes that the Knicks should be looking at Daniel Gafford because he's a good Mitchell Robinson replacement, and that's not all. Also, Bullets Forever, the SB Nation Wizards website, basically said a team that makes sense is the New York Knicks, who lost Mitchell Robinson for the season a few weeks back. Gafford plays a similar style to Robinson as a lob threat and can swat shots, and he knows his role. I think most Knicks fans and NBA fans in general would agree that Daniel Gafford isn't exactly Mitchell Robinson in the sense that Mitch is a better player. But Gafford is a really, really good replacement when it comes down to Mitch is injured. He's out for the year. We want someone similar. Daniel Gafford's an alright option. I mean, the concern is that he's on a contract for the next few years for around $16 million, which is similar to Mitch's. And that would add a lot of money to the Knicks books when maybe trading for OG saved them some money because instead of having to pay both RJ and IQ, they're just going to have to pay Anunoby, who's not going to be making as much money as RJ and IQ combined, obviously. And I think the reason that they opened up that cap space was in hopes to try to have more flexibility to land a star. So I think that's the big concern with Daniel Gafford over anything else is the fact that you would sort of be missing out on a star. But a proposed trade by Bullets Forever, so mind you, it's probably a Wizards fan making this trade, I'm just going to say ahead of time, is Daniel Gafford and Landry Shamet to the Knicks, and the Knicks give Evan Fournier and the Wizards' own protected pick back to them. So basically they just take the protection off the pick for Washington. I don't hate the trade at all because Landry Shamet can sort of create his own shot and he gives more guard depth. He could play the 1, he could play the 2. He seemed like he was really going to break out at one point during his rookie year. It felt like he had something, and he never really got much better, but he has been a consistent NBA role player for the better half of the decade, so it's not like Shamet's nothing, and then also getting Gafford. It would make the Knicks better in the now, for sure. Fournier's not in the rotation. I don't know if you plug Shamet into the rotation or keep him on the bench, and then use Gafford as the other center next to Isaiah Hartenstein and sort of just have a nice little center duo to roll with that could give the Knicks much needed depth if they want to make a deep run in the playoffs this year. But also, you get a lot of money on your books, and you give up a first round pick. I don't love that, and obviously nothing's going to be perfect. If you're going to get a player like Daniel Gafford who is going to help you win, then yeah, you're going to have to give something up. But I don't know if I want to give all that up. I think they could probably get a cheaper center option who they're not going to owe a bunch of money to in the future, so they could focus on trying to bring back Hartenstein while also having Mitch on the roster. I don't really see the point of having Daniel Gafford long term and paying both Mitch and Gafford a similar amount of money. I just don't think that makes a ton of sense, and I guess the Knicks could trade Gafford over the offseason, but then you're really giving up one of your protected picks for a rental, and I've basically hammered this point in on this channel already. I really do think that the Knicks should be very cautious with giving up any of their firsts. That is where their assets lie now. They've lost RJ, they've lost IQ. They're not going to trade OG Anunoby. They're probably not trading Julius Randle, which I don't want them to, mind you. Some fans in the comments believe that I do want Randle traded, and that's not true at all. I just don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think he's as untouchable as OG or Jalen Brunson, but I don't think he's getting traded. They're probably not trading Hart or DiVincenzo. Both would be kind of surprising to see get moved because the Knicks love them. They love all their Nova guys. So it lies with draft picks. Like, realistically, we're looking at a team that if they're going to go and land a star player, whoever that star may be, maybe it's a face we know already, like Donovan Mitchell, like DeJounte Murray, like maybe Mikal Bridges, which I don't really believe because he's on the Nets, and the Nets and the Knicks aren't going to make a trade. Or someone completely random who we don't even know is going to ask for a trade, but potentially could, whoever that may be over the offseason. They're going to need those draft picks to do it, and they're going to want the full arsenal of picks. Will they have to use them all? Probably not, but they're going to want to have the full arsenal. It will help them kind of get around the stipend rule a little bit, which is important. So I do think the Knicks should be wary about giving up firsts. There's probably a center who, albeit is not going to be as good as Daniel Gafford, but someone who they could probably get for a few second rounders, such as Andre Drummond or someone. There's realistic options for centers who are not going to be owed a ton of money and be worth a first round pick the way that Gafford is, which is my big issue with it. However, Gafford is a good player after all, especially since joining the Wizards. He's averaging 2 blocks a game this season, which is a career high. He's had a good season for the Wizards in general, averaging 10 points on not too many shot attempts at all. Then also pulling down nearly 8 rebounds a game. I mean, he's a starting level center in the NBA, and he's on one of the worst teams in the league, so it doesn't really matter. He's 25, so he's got some room to grow, similar age to Mitch and Hartenstein, and he's owed some money. So I don't really know if the Knicks should do that. And also just a quick look at Shamet, because he's the other one in the trade. He's hovered around 9 points per game for his entire career. He has a career average of 8.9 points. Is shooting 38.8% from 3 on his career, but those numbers have kind of shrunk from when he was initially shooting 40% in the earlier part of his career. However, that wasn't able to stick around. And now the Knicks would be landing him and be owing him $9 million, which would be interesting. And again, I just don't know if I want all that salary on the books and think of a first-round pick. And I think the Wizards would be right to ask for that. Because again, it's a protected first, but it's still a first. And it has value in the NBA. And the Knicks want to use these picks to make trades for star players who can elevate you, because they no longer have the player assets to make a star trade anymore and not involve all their draft picks. That's out of the question now. So I think they need to save their draft picks. They should not go all in right now by getting role players. It's one of the reasons why I don't want DeJounte Murray, because as good as he is, and he's not a role player, mind you, he's better than that. He's much better than that. He's also not exactly, a superstar. He's only been an all-star one time in his career, and it was basically an all-star replacement vote. So again, like, if the Knicks are giving up these picks, they got to be sure about this guy. They got to be sure about who they're going for, and I just don't know if that's the case with Daniel Gafford. Obviously, we're going to continue to talk about a bunch of trades on this channel. The deadline's in less than a month. So we're going to keep hammering out videos like this. You do not want to miss it. People who are subscribed to our channel are going to see all these at 14% of the viewers. That 86%, you guys do not want to miss out on all of our trade updates. We give a few videos a day, and you don't want to miss it. So like this video, subscribe to the channel. It means a ton to us, and you also don't even have to think about looking up Knicks Digest on YouTube anymore. You're just going to see us on the front page of your recommended. It's going to make your life easier. It's going to make my life better. It's a win-win. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a single video from us. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day, and go Knicks.